Let us draw some striking parallels today. Remember the 2021 Afghanistan crisis? How the US quickly abandoned the country and the Taliban swept back into power. The Haqqani network emerged stronger than ever, and the US's conspicuous silence has effectively propped up the Taliban rule for 4 long years. Now, we are witnessing a strikingly similar scenario in Syria. The HTS and Al Qaeda have essentially seized the control, and the self proclaimed guardians of democracy, the US and the deep state, are setting a chilling precedent. The jihadist Jolani is now running a show of democracy, and here's the kicker. Evidence is now suggesting that Biden and the team were plotting Syria coup for years. The pattern is becoming disturbingly clear: strategic withdrawal, power vacuums, and the calculated chaos, all under the guise of protecting democracy. According to a media report by the Global Research, the US weapons were suddenly flooded up in Syria in just a year. The US had intensified the military presence in Syria, shipping weapons to its Hasaka base. According to the Syrian Arab News Agency, the US was fortifying its presence, bringing the advanced weapons, ammunition, and communication systems. This was done even though no tensions existed in Syria at that point of time. The US Army General Mark Milley claimed that the deployment was to combat ISIS, but the evidence is suggesting a broader agenda. The US was collaborating with the Syrian Democratic Forces and Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, a terror organization. Don't take my word for it, have a look at this now. The US military bases in Syria and Iraq were being ripped apart by weapon and equipment thefts. The shocking documents from the intercept reveal militia and criminal gangs systematically targeting the American forces. The military investigation found multiple sensitive weapons of being vanishing from the bases, including the guided missile launch system and drones. Between 2020 and 2022, hundreds and thousands of dollars in military gears disappeared from the US troops. And the worst part of all this is that Pentagon officials knew about these thefts but did nothing. Zero concrete action was taken. The stolen weapons expose a massive security hole, with the military equipment potentially landing into dangerous hands. The US weapons were being stolen from by none other than the same Islamist now in control of Syria. Again, this is the same as what happened in Afghanistan, where the American weapons are now in Taliban control. The timing of all these events is also very shocking. When the weapons were being channeled, Russia and Arab allies were trying to bring peace and normalcy in Syria. In early May last year, Syria's return to the Arab League was sending shockwaves through the US and European establishments, sparking rapid escalation between the US occupation forces and Russia-Syria alliance. Reuters quoted Arab League had clarified that Syria's readmission means automatic repairing of the relations. While the Syrian government was seeking mutual respect and return of normalcy in the war-torn state, Washington's war machine was seething and plotting to remove President Bashar al-Assad. A US State Department spokesperson at that time had revealed Washington's skepticism, stating that they remain unconvinced of Assad's willingness to resolve the Syria crisis. They bluntly declared, and we quote, "We do not believe Syria merits readmission into the Arab League, maintaining full sanctions." The message is pretty clear, isn't it? The American interest was against the diplomatic reconciliation. Assad wanted to end the ongoing war, but the US forces obstructed the progress. They strategically positioned themselves into critical areas like Al-Tanf near the Syrian-Iraqi-Jordan border, serving as a transit hub for terrorists. They also exist in Idlib, eastern Al Omar oil field, and the Hasaka countryside. And now, painting the potential collapse of the Bashar al-Assad government as a quote-unquote fundamental act of justice, Biden accepted the impending chaos. Speaking from the White House, Biden seemingly celebrated the rebel group's takeover, framing the potential regime change as a long overdue correction after decades of Assad's rule. His rhetoric carefully masked the underlying geopolitical manipulation, presenting destruction as liberation. The whispers of an imminent billion-dollar aid package further exposes the US playbook. This isn't a humanitarian support. It is a calculated move to fuel instability, bankroll the rebel factions, and maintain a perpetual state of war in the region. Biden's words reveals a chilling truth. The US views Syria's potential disintegration not as a humanitarian crisis, but as an opportunity to reshape the Middle Eastern landscape as per its interest, regardless of the human cost. Wherever the supposed saviors set foot, devastation follows. In Afghanistan, power was surrendered to Taliban on a silver platter. In Bangladesh, the Islamists are now infiltrating the interim Yunus government. Now in Syria, a declared terrorist is now set to run the government, backed by none other than America. The same America that suffered the most catastrophic terror attack in human history. This is deep state's twisted counterterrorism strategy. Systematically transfer the power to the very terror group they claim to be fighting. This pattern becomes more clear during democratic administrations. The most devoted followers of the deep state. The world watches in horror right now as country after country is becoming a playground of strategic annihilation. And right now, nobody can do anything about it.